it's Miss Lauren and welcome to this week's story time. Our story time this week is all about camping. So tents and animals, maybe camping in the backyard, treats, campfires, s'mores, all those kinds of things. So we are going to be reading some books, playing some games as usual for our camping story time, and I hope you guys have fun. Thanks! Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start our story time with our opening song, If You'd Like to Read a Story. So everybody go ahead and stand up for me. If you'd like to read a story, take a seat. If you'd like to read a story, take a seat. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Make your hands all nice and neat. If you'd like to read a story, take a seat. Alright, good job, and let's get started with story time. Okay, so our first story today is called Monster and Mouse Go Camping. Monster was having a snack when Mouse burst in the front door. "Let's go camping," she said. "What's camping?" Monster asked. "Camping is great," Mouse said. "You walk in the woods, you sleep in a tent, you tell spooky stories." "It sounds scary," said Monster. "The stories are supposed to be scary," said Mouse. "Camping sounds scary," said Monster. "Phew," said Mouse. "It will be fun. I'm a good camper. I'll take care of you." "Maybe next year," said Monster, "or the year after that." "There will be food," promised Mouse. "Lots of yummy food." Monster decided he might like camping after all. Mouse brought all the supplies to Monster's house. "I've made a list so we won't forget anything," she said. "You read the list and I'll pack." "2 sleeping bags," said Monster. "Check," said Mouse. "1 tent," said Monster. "Check," said Mouse. "1 lamp," said Monster. "Check," said Mouse. "We have everything. Let's go." Soon they were in the woods. "I hear a stream," said Mouse. She went ahead to find it. While she was gone, Monster had a snack. Uh-oh, it looks like he's eating their lamp. Oh, that's not going to be good. After they rested by the stream, they walked some more. "I think this is the right trail," said Mouse. She went ahead to make sure. While she was gone, Monster had another snack. Looks like he's eating the sleeping bags now. After Mouse came back, they walked some more. "Let's camp on that hill," Mouse said. She went ahead to find a spot. While she was gone, Monster had another snack. The tent. "Come on, Monster, I found the perfect place for us to camp," Mouse called. Monster joined Mouse on the hilltop. "Let's set up the tent," said Mouse. "Uh-oh," said Monster. "What's wrong?" asked Mouse. "I'm sorry, Mouse. I think I ate the tent," said Monster. "Oh, well, don't worry," said Mouse. "We will sleep under the stars. Our sleeping bags will keep us cozy." "Mouse," said Monster. "I ate the sleeping bags too." "All right," said Mouse. "We can sleep on the grass. Hand me the lamp so I can find our food." Mouse, you ate the lamp?" guessed Mouse. "I'm very sorry." Mouse was quiet. Finally, she said, "Well, at least we can have dinner. You didn't eat the food, did you?" "Mouse, I did not eat the food," Monster said proudly. Mouse looked in the box. She looked in her backpack. "Monster," she said. "Yes, Mouse?" "I forgot the food." "That's all right, Mouse," Monster said. They sat on the ground. It was dark. It was cold. They were hungry. Mouse was especially hungry because she had not eaten any tents or sleeping bags or lamps. "Shall we tell spooky stories?" asked Monster. "I don't think so," said Mouse. Then they saw a glow in the distance. "Look," said Mouse. "Maybe we can go get warm. Maybe they have extra food," Monster said. The campers were toasting marshmallows while a man told a spooky story. But then, said the man, a terrifying beast knocked on the door. "Excuse me," said Monster politely. "Ah!" Uh-oh, they're driving away. Monster and Mouse stood alone at the campsite. "Look," said Mouse, "sleeping bags." "And food," said Monster. "And tents," said Mouse. "And food," said Monster. "I wonder why they left so quickly," asked Monster. "No idea," said Mouse. "Mouse," Monster said as he made his fifth s'more. "Yes, Monster," Mouse said. "I like camping very much." "I'm glad, Monster," said Mouse. "I hoped you would." And that is the end of Monster and Mouse Go Camping. Okay, so the first game we're going to play this week to go along with our camping theme is called What's in the Camper's Tent? So we've got our tent here, right? Because if you go camping, you're probably staying in a tent. So what we're going to do, we've played some games similar to this one before. I'm going to put some items up on the board around our tent that you would find on a campsite in a tent. And then I'm going to take away one, maybe two items, we'll see. And then you're going to tell me what items I've put back in the tent, okay? So pay really close attention when I put the items up on the board so that when I take one away, you remember what was there, okay? So we've got a backpack. We've got a canoe. We've got logs for a fire. We've got a skunk. That you certainly would not want to find in your tent, right? We've got our skunk. Okay. Then we've got, let's see, let's move this up a little bit so we can see all our things. We've got a lamp. We've got a pan for cooking, right? We've got bug spray. We've got a fishing pole, right? A sleeping bag. And we've got, let's move our canoe over here a little bit, a cooler. Okay? So these are the items that you would find at a campsite. So we've got those all up on the board. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to take away just one. I'm going to put it under the tent, okay? So just one thing. You're going to close your eyes really, really tight. No peeking. So I don't want you to see what item I'm hiding, okay? So go, close your eyes really, really tight. All right, and you can open up your eyes. And what item was on our board here that you do not see now that I put under our tent? Anybody know? Maybe it was one of the items you probably really wouldn't want to find in your tent. Anybody? It's our skunk. All right. Everybody get that? Okay. So go ahead, we're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna close your eyes really, really tight, okay? No peeking, no peeking. All right, and open your eyes. What is in our tent now? Anybody know what's missing? Look really close, see if you remember. Might be something you'd use to sleep on. Any guesses? It is our sleeping bag. Good job, okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna hide another item. Close your eyes, keep them closed. No peeking, no peeking. All right, and open your eyes. Anybody know? Maybe something you would use on the water? Anybody know? It is our canoe. All right, good job, guys. Anybody get that one? Okay. Let's try another one. Close your eyes, keep them closed, really tight, really tight. And open your eyes. What's not there that just was there? Maybe something you'd use to keep bugs away. I think it's our bug spray. Good job. All right, let's try one more with just one item. And then I'm gonna make it a little bit more challenging. And I'm gonna hide 2 items. So you're gonna have to be extra attentive to what's up here, okay? All right, so go ahead, close your eyes once more. We're gonna hide one more item. And open your eyes. Anybody know what's missing? Anybody have any idea? Maybe something you would bring drinks in and your food to your campsite? I think it was blue. It is our cooler. Good job, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to make it just a little harder, okay? I'm gonna hide 2 items in our tent. So pay really close attention to what you see up on the board right now, okay? All right, close your eyes, keep them closed. And open your eyes. Anybody know what's missing? So we hid 2 things this time. Okay. One's maybe something you would use for cooking your food on the campsite, right? It is our pan. Okay. Now we've got one more thing that's hidden under our tent. Anybody know what it is? It is our lamp, right? So that's something you might use to make sure you have enough light on your campsite, okay? All right, so let's try that again. I'm gonna hide 2 more things, okay? You know the drill. Close your eyes, no peeking. Make sure you're not peeking. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold up our tent because I don't think it's gonna stay. Anybody know what 2 items are missing? Maybe something that you could use on the water when you're using your canoe. That's right, our fishing pole. Okay, and we've got one more item. Anybody know? Might be something you would pack your camping items in to bring with you. Wear it on your back. It is our backpack. Good job. All right, so let's try and hide 2 more things. Okay, so let's go ahead, close our eyes and keep them closed. Hold our tent up again. All right, go ahead and open your eyes and see what is missing. Anybody know? We've got 2 things hidden in our tent. We've got, let's see, something you might use to make a fire, maybe before you're gonna make s'mores. Anybody know? It is our logs. All right, and one other item. You got it. It's the cooler. All right. Good job, guys. You did a really good job, and I hope you had fun with what's in the camper's tent. All right, and it is time for our rocket song. So go ahead, put your hands together, make your rocket, and zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. If you'd like to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Good job! All right, so our next story today is Fancy Nancy's story. So a lot of you probably know Fancy Nancy, and this is called Camp Fancy. Fancy Nancy's going camping. Usually I adore Saturdays, but today I am bored. Come help me clean out the garage, Dad suggests. I am almost 100% positive that won't be very fun. But I have nothing better to do, so I say yes. I get to work and soon find an old tent. Dad says he and Mom used to go camping all the time. We'd pitch this tent at a great campsite in the woods, then build a big campfire and make delicious s'mores under the stars, said Dad. A camping trip sounds more than nice. It sounds spectacular. We'd set up a fancy tent on a mountaintop with a view that's sublime. That's fancy for really pretty, really beautiful. Then we'd make s'mores. Let's go camping now, I say. Can we please? It's too late to head to the woods, Dad says. But there may be a campsite close by. Dad leads me to our backyard. But there's no mountaintop or sublime view, I say. We'll still have a blast, Dad says. Besides, one of the first rules of camping is to make the best of what you have. Mom and Jojo are excited about our backyard campout. We get to work setting up the campsite. I help Dad put up the tent, but it's très difficile. That's French for very hard. Finally, the tent is up. Mom goes to light the campfire when ping, ting, it starts to rain. Into the tent, everyone, Dad calls out. Sacre bleu! Oh no, our campout is ruined, I say as we crowd into the tent. Let's just make the best of it, said Dad. We start to make shadow puppets on the tent's wall. Look at my beautiful papillon, I say. That's French for butterfly. See, Dad says, little rain can't stop our campout. But then, splat, a raindrop hits my nose. Then another and another. The tent's leaking, I cry out. Let's make the best of it. In the house, Dad shouts. We race out of the tent for home. No stars, no campfire, no tent. Our campout is a fiasco, I say. That's fancy for a complete disaster. Mom takes out some marshmallows. We can still make s'mores in the microwave, she says. But suddenly, the lights flicker, then zap! They go out. I can't see, I call out. The storm must have knocked out the power, Dad explains. But at least we're safe and warm inside. Plip, plip, bloop. Uh-oh. We hold up our flashlights and see water dripping from the ceiling. Looks like our roof sprung a leak too, Dad sighs. Jojo and I hold the flashlights as Mom and Dad set out pots to catch the water. I feel really bad for Dad. He tried so hard to make our camp out magnifique, I whisper to Jojo. That's French for magnificent. I see Dad's shadow on the kitchen wall and get an idea. I lead Jojo to the den. Mom, Dad, I call from the den, come to our campout. Mom and Dad can't believe how Jojo and I turned the den into a campsite extraordinaire. We set out a green towel for grass and hung a blanket over the couch for a tent. There's even a campfire, Mom gushes as she admires the pieces of orange paper in the campfire pit we made. Time for stargazing, I call out. Everyone sits around the campfire.
I tell them to turn off their flashlights. Then I put my flashlight under a spaghetti strainer. Now, there are tons of little white dots on the ceiling. Voila! Stars! Then I hand out marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers, and everyone makes s'mores. Bon appetit, I say. That's French for enjoy your meal. Yummy, Dad says. Then the lights flick on. Oh no, the power is back, we say. Dad smiles and turns the lights off. Our campout continues. We all munch on s'mores and continue to gaze at the stars. Dad says, I'm proud of you, Nancy Pants. You really made the best with what we have. And the end. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed Fancy Nancy, Camp Fancy.
All right, so our next game we're going to play is called What's in the Bear's Cave. So by chance you ever run into a bear while you're camping, hopefully not, you might think, what does a bear keep in his cave? What does he have with him? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put different items up on the board, I'm gonna show you, and you're gonna tell me if you think it would be something you would find in a bear's cave. That's something maybe they would use, okay? All right, so our first item is a pot of honey. Do you think bears might like a pot of honey in their cave? You think bears would eat honey? I think so. I think bears like honey. All right, so you might find a jar of honey in a bear's tent. All right, let's try another item. What about, would you find a sled? What do you think? Do you think bears go sledding? Yeah, I don't know if they go sledding or not. They seem to me like they might be a little big for a sled. I don't know. So what do we think? Probably not. You'd find a sled in a bear's tent, in a bear's cave. All right, so let's move that over here out of the way, okay? All right, what about, oh, what about a pillow? Do you think you'd find a pillow in a bear's cave? Bears sleep with a pillow? I don't know. I'm guessing bears probably just sleep on the ground of the cave. So maybe they're not so worried about having a pillow, right? So what do we think? Probably not. All right, so let's move our pillow over. What about fish? What do you think? Do you think bears would enjoy some fish in their cave? I think they might, right? I definitely think they feast on fish. They might bring in some fish for dinner. All right, so let's put our fish under our jar of honey as something that they would have in their cave. All right, what about a television? Do you think bears watch TV? Maybe that's Winnie the Pooh. I don't know. I'm guessing, what do you think? Probably not. I doubt most bears have TVs in their cave, right? So let's add that to our pile of things you would not find in a cave. What about bunny slippers? Do you think bears wear bunny slippers? Maybe some bears would like to wear bunny slippers. What do you think? But chances that there are actually any slippers in the bear's cave are probably pretty slim. All right, so we'll put our bunny slippers in with our items that we think bears would not have. What about berries? Do you think bears might like berries? Yeah, I think so. I think they would definitely enjoy some berries, right? So I think you would probably find some berries in the bear's cave. So let's add those along with our jar of honey and our fish, right? So now we've got berries. Okay, what about, a toothbrush? Do you think you'd find a toothbrush? How many bears do you think brush their teeth? After they've enjoyed a nice meal of fish and a jar of honey, do you think they brush their teeth? Probably not. All right, we've got one more item. What about a book of bedtime stories? Do you think bears read bedtime stories? I don't know. I guess I would probably say no. I don't know if bears can read. What do you think? Do you think bears can read? Maybe, who knows? All right, so let's put our bedtime stories, our book of bedtime stories, in the items that we think a bear probably wouldn't have. So, in our bear's cave, we've got a jar of honey, fish, and berries. And then items not in our cave, we've got our sled, our pillow, our television, our toothbrush, our bunny slippers, and our bedtime stories. All right, good job, guys. All right, who's ready for our banana song? Okay, so go ahead, put your arms above your head, make your banana. Banana split and peel bananas. Peel, peel bananas. Peel bananas. Peel, peel bananas. And chop bananas. Chop, chop bananas. Chop bananas. Chop, chop bananas. And mash bananas. Mash, mash bananas. Mash bananas. Mash, mash bananas. And eat bananas. Eat bananas. Eat bananas. Eat bananas. And what's the last thing we're gonna do? Anybody know? Go bananas! Good job. Our last book for today is called Millie Fierce Sleeps Out. Being good wasn't easy, but Millie knew that being fierce ruined parties and made people mad, and even made them cry. So Millie had kept herself fierce-free all summer long. Since she'd been such a sugar pie, Mom said she could have her sleep out. Her gummy, wormy, scary movie, shadow puppety sleep out. It would be only as far as her own backyard, but it felt like it could be the outback out there, or the Amazon jungle, or maybe even Mars. She'd planned each detail as precisely as a portrait. Her best friend Maya was coming, so was her cousin Lizzie, and Buddy too. Millie and Grandpa pitched the tent at the very back of the backyard. They checked the weather and double-checked the supplies. Flashlight, gummy worms, lantern, check. Bug net, sleeping bag, headlamp, check. 3 monster movies and 1 zombie movie, check. S'mores and root beer, check and check. Millie combed her hair and gave herself her sweetest smile. She'd promised to be nice all night and had packed her fierceness away as tightly as a rolled tent. Nothing, she decided, was going to ruin her sleep out. Not even herself. Millie was like a jumping bean in new striped pajamas, waiting for her guests to arrive. The minute they did, she hurried them out to camp as the moon played hide and seek with them between the trees. But even though the tent was straight and the moon was full, right from the start, things did not go as planned. Lizzie put her sleeping bag in the wrong place, and Maya and Buddy ate all but one of the s'mores. It made Millie's right eye twitch, but still she smiled as sweet as sugar. When Millie made her
excellent shadow puppets on the ceiling, like the zombie hand and the grizzly bear, Maya and Lizzie were too scared even to look. Millie's lip curled into a sourpuss, but she clamped her mouth shut, then switched off the flashlight without a hint of fierceness. Nothing was going to ruin her sleep out, not even a shadow puppet. And although her nose twisted, she refused to get fierce. When Maya thought she saw a real spider in the gummy worms, then chucked the whole bag out of the tent. Nothing was going to ruin Millie's sleep out, not even a spider. Millie didn't get fierce when no one would explore the outback with her, or when she sat on sticky burrs, but she considered it. And when a cloud slid silently across the moon and the first raindrops came, plopping down on the tent, Millie kept the top on tight to her inner fierce. She knew what would happen if it got out. It would ruin everything. But then she heard a growl just outside the tent. Was that a zombie? Asked Lizzie, her eyes as big as dinner plates. Sounds like a bear, cried Maya as she dove into her sleeping bag and zipped it up. Millie felt both eyes twitch and her ears sizzle. Still, she clenched her fists and forced her fierceness to stay inside. But then came a snarl, and Maya and Lizzie screamed at once while Buddy shivered alone. It looked like something was about to ruin Millie's sleep out after all. Millie's hair frizzed itself into a magnificent tangle. A pull of hot air blasted from her nose. She couldn't fight it anymore. Millie turned fierce. Millie Fierce grabbed her flashlight. Even if it's a mountain lion, she sneered, or a dragon with bad breath, it's not going to ruin my sleep out. The outback was pitch black, and in the Amazon, rain poured down. But Millie Fierce didn't care. She swept her light around like a lighthouse beacon. It landed on a growling, snarling, stooping lump. It wasn't a zombie. It wasn't a bear. It was Vincent, the pug from next door, come to gobble down gummy worms. Millie Fierce screamed like a samurai, and Vincent stopped gobbling. Then she chased him like bad luck, and Vincent ran back home faster than he'd ever run in his life. Then Millie stopped cold, soaked and moping. She'd let her fierce out, and she knew what that meant. But she was wrong. Tonight it meant a kiss from Buddy, a hug from Lizzie, and the last s'more from Maya. You saved us, Lizzie cried. Millie smiled her widest smile. She and her fierce self hadn't ruined her sleep out. She'd saved it. They celebrated by rescuing the gummy worms and watching the creature from Planet X. And when Vincent returned and growled again, Millie growled right back. Sometimes it takes a little ferocity to set things right. And that is the end of Millie Fierce Sleeps Out.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end our story time with our goodbye song, Tickle the Clouds. Tickle the clouds, tickle your toes, turn around and tickle your nose. Reach down low, reach up high. Story time's over, so wave goodbye. Thanks guys, see you next week.